Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris, and with Spider-Man Far From Home finally in theaters, you can go check it out right now. What are you doing? Stop watching this and go watch Far From Home. No, don't stay here for a little bit, then go watch Far From Home. I've seen the movie multiple times now because I absolutely love what they did with it. Still not sure if I love it more than Spider-Man 2, but man, it is up there. Nonetheless, Spider-Man Far From Home gave us two brand new Spider-Man suits, adding to the different interpretations of this colorful character, so I thought, why not rank them from worst to best? So do keep in mind these are live action interpretations that have been on the big screen or sometimes on the small screen. This does not include the video game or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And this obviously goes without saying, but this is my personal opinion. It all really does go to taste and how you prefer it, or some might just prefer suits that are more comic accurate. Either way, be sure to leave me your list down below of all the ones I'm about to mention, and if there's any I'm missing, also go ahead and let me know down below. And like I said in my spoiler-free review for Spider-Man Far From Home, I will be doing a live stream talking all spoilers, answering your questions, really just talking about how great that movie is. I'm gonna do it Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time, so be sure you're subscribed and watch the movie before then so we can talk Spider-Man. But enough yapping, getting straight to it with the bottom of the list, number 13. What a shame it is to even call this a Spider-Man suit. The homemade Spider-Man suit from Amazing Spider-Man 1. Like I said, do keep in mind this has nothing to do with the quality of the movies. I'm more ranking the suits and how they're integrated into the story. In this one, they were definitely going for a more believable made suit, as just putting on a red ski mask, sewing in some sunglass parts. Seriously, this suit is only 10% a Spider-Man mask and the rest is your average walk to New York suit. Very little about this screams Spider-Man to me. I understand why they did it, just to get it out of the way, because it looks like every time you have a Spider-Man origin, you gotta have a homemade suit that just looks, I don't know, basic. And this is a basic one for sure. Moving to the next one on the list, the CBS Spider-Man. Now, back in 1970s, there was a Spider-Man TV show. And no, not the one that gave us some great memes. This one was actually a live-action interpretation following Peter Parker fighting crime. And this suit, yeah, it definitely screams TV budget. And I would think it's so easy to make a basic, accurate Spider-Man suit, especially if you're just going with some spandex, but they decided to add in some How I Met Your Mother red boots, overly sized web shooter on his wrist, and then that belt that just clashes with your outfit. What are you doing, Spider-Man? Little touches like that make it go to the bottom of the list for me. Next on the list, Spider-Man suit. This is kind of a classic, iconic Spider-Man suit nowadays with Spider-Man fans. This was based off a live-action 1970s TV show premiering on the Tokyo channel. Basic Japanese elements to it, feeling like episodes of the Power Rangers. And being that it's a Japanese suit, you know they had to go ahead and squint the eyes. They made it themselves, so they decided to do that. Not us. But really only stand out again is the giant web shooter on the arm. Other than that, it's a pretty basic Spider-Man suit. Number 10 on the list is where we definitely get into territory of most recent Spider-Man suits, starting off with the Amazing Spider-Man suit. Now, I remember when this first photo was released, and I was still in high school, and I remember being in class, pulling out my phone, just staring at that thing, feeling so mixed and trying to convince myself as a Spider-Man fan, I like this suit. I like this suit. Please tell me I like this suit. And even though I actually ended up liking the Amazing Spider-Man and I love Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, this suit to me just flares up all my OCD Spider-Man senses. I don't know what it is to me, but if you have a Spider-Man suit and you don't have the belt touching in the waist, it just gets me a little cringy. It's kind of like that old meme where you put two things together and you're like, all right, kiss, I want that belt to touch. Also add in the fact that they made the eyes this sort of shaded yellow, using the excuse that it's so he has some night vision. Those small details on the suit just really got me bothered because everything else about it is pretty cool. The texture of the suit, although it looks kind of like a basketball, and I also gotta admit it didn't do any favors for the scrawny body of Andrew Garfield. There was a reason when they made a sequel they completely changed the look of that suit. Number 9 on the list, Sam Raimi's wrestling Spider-Man suit. We can all remember this glorious moment in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. I mainly have memories of it from playing the video game, because you wear that suit for quite a while in that game, but it's still iconic to me and it was different enough you can definitely tell that it was homemade and easy for anyone to make up. I think the suit's flavor really goes with the wrestling aspect. It is just missing some of those brighter blue colors that we know in a Spider-Man suit. Number 8 on the list, speaking on Raimi, we're gonna talk about the black Spider-Man Raimi suit from Spider-Man 3. Now, us Spider-Man fans, we gotta agree, our OCD flares up again because we just want this beautiful white spider on the chest, especially since there was concept art that they were messing with the idea of putting that spider on his chest, but for some reason they just went ahead and took the old suit and just gave it a new paint job. I guess it still came off kind of cool, especially with the cinematography of Spider-Man 3, which I think is some of the most beautiful work in a Spider-Man movie, but it really is just stripping away all the colors of a great Spider-Man suit and saying this is the symbiote suit. Enjoy. Number 7 on the list, Night Monkey, or as some of you might call it, the S.H.I.E.L.D. suit. This is the suit in the new Spider-Man Far From Home movie given to Peter Parker by S.H.I.E.L.D. There's definitely nothing traditional about this suit, not even anything really memorable from the Spider-Man comics. It sort of resembles Noir Spider-Man, but really it's just the eyes and the black attire. Put a hat on it and a trench coat, maybe we got Noir Spider-Man there. But I think it's still a sleek design, and from time to time, Spider-Man crosses overs with different heroes. He sometimes joins the Fantastic Four, sometimes joining the X-Men, and I'm sure there's a time where Spider-Man joins S.H.I.E.L.D., and this being his S.H.I.E.L.D. suit works perfectly fine. Number 6 on the list, the Iron Spider suit from Avengers Infinity War. This is probably the only Spider-Man suit on the list where it doesn't flare up my Spider-Man OCD like I keep mentioning of, that doesn't look like the comic book, I hate it. Although it really does not resemble the Iron Spider suit of the comics, they still did something so fresh and new with it, giving it a nice metallic look, redesigning the suit, but still making it feel memorable like it belongs in the Spider-Man world. Even fixing something that bothered people in the comic adaptation where he only had 3 legs, this time giving him 4 mechanical legs. I think this suit is well deserved to be in the MCU, and I'm sure Spider-Man is not done wearing this thing. It's gonna pop up either once or twice again. Number 5 on the list, the homemade Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. I know some of you are saying, how could you put this above the Iron Spider suit? I don't know what to say. I'm a big Scarlet Spider fan, and this was them definitely trying to give their own interpretation of that suit, keeping with the iconic colors of red and blue, while still managing to fit in the expressionable eyes in the suit. I definitely believe this is something Peter Parker could have made, and if he wore this suit for an entire movie, I wouldn't have budged at all. I really dig this suit. Number 4 on the list, the Spider-Man Homecoming suit. Now, we first got to look at this suit in Captain America Civil War. It was super CGI heavy, and when Spider-Man Homecoming came around, they were able to make it feel more tangible, like you were actually seeing a suit and not something CGI created. I think this is a definition of how you recapture a Spider-Man suit from the comics while making it modern. The little touches of black while still making it look soft, really reminding you of the Ditko design of Spider-Man. Finally bringing the classic spider emblem on his back. The only negatives I have about this suit is just how teched out it is, because I don't believe Spider-Man should have all these Iron Man gadgets, but I know people hate when we talk about that. And yes, I know in the comics Spider-Man does regularly sports gadgets, a light here and there, a tracker, his web shooters, but in total that Spider-Man carries around 10-15 gadgets that are useful in his situation. This suit literally has thousands of different combinations that is just overkill from Spider-Man, who relies on his wits and strength, where his suit is the bare minimum of what he needs to get the job done. Still, nonetheless, a great looking suit. Number 3 on the list, yes, I'm putting it above the Homecoming suit, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Say what you will about that movie, I understand it's got a lot of backlash. It's the Batman and Robin of the Spider-Man movies. I found enjoyment out of it. There are things I definitely like in it, but there were certainly things I hated. But one thing's for sure, they fixed the suit and they finally gave us something that I think closely resembles the comic book version, giving us the big buggy eyes, touches of the Sam Raimi suit with the raised webbing, the nice Spider-Man emblem, and that opening shot of him swinging through the city. You fall in love with this suit the first 10 seconds it's on screen. I think this is as accurate as we're ever gonna get to a Spider-Man suit, and anything else will just sort of be copying this suit, when this suit is actually a copy of another suit. Number 2 on the list, it might be the high I'm riding from watching Spider-Man Far From Home, but I truly believe this. The new red and black suit to me is the second best Spider-Man suit we've had on screen. One, this is actually a suit we've had in the comic books before, of the red and black combination. I always picture this as the suit Spider-Man would wear when he is an adult, but the fact that they incorporated it into this movie, that Peter Parker made it himself, probably taking away all that high-techy gadget stuff, I think the suit just looks so entirely modern, fresh. To me, this is kind of like the Ferrari or Lamborghini of Spider-Man suits, and when you see the battle damage on it in the movie, it just looks great. This is a suit I'm always gonna love. But still, we can't deny number 1 on the list, the one that I don't think will ever get beaten, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit. Now, all throughout this list, I've been talking about suits that are most accurate to the comic. I've been talking about suits that reinvent themselves and create a different, fresh look for Spider-Man, and suits that are just memorable in your brain that'll stick with you for the end of time, and the Sam Raimi suit is all of them. It manages to capture that amazing look from the Spider-Man comics while still redesigning it and make it looking fresh. And when I go to sleep at night and I dream of Spider-Man like I do every other night, this is the suit I picture. The raised webbing, the perfect eye shapes, the emblem on the chest and back. Also, that this suit makes Spider-Man look perfectly bulky, not too big but not too scrawny. This is the suit that'll always put a face on my Spider-Man heart. But anyways, guys, that is just my opinion of ranking ranking all the Spider-Man suits from worst to best. What is your ranking? And if you have anything you disagree with on my list, please go ahead and let me know down below. I love a good debate. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.